Welcome, my dear listener. Today, I invite you to pause, to sit with me and listen, not just with your ears, but with your heart. This is not just a story. It's a journey of a girl named Alina, a girl who once fell into silence, but slowly found her way back to life, to light, and to herself. She was only 17 when everything inside her began to crumble, but she didn't give up. And today, you'll hear how she turned her deepest pain into power. If you've ever felt lost, if you've ever felt small, if you've ever wondered if healing is possible, then this story is for you. Alina was only 17 when the world started to change. Not on the outside. The season still came and went, school bells still rang, and people still laughed in the hallways. But something inside her was shifting. Quietly, slowly, heavily. She didn't know when it started. Maybe it was the day she woke up and couldn't find the energy to leave her bed. Or maybe the day she stopped replying to messages from her friends. It was subtle at first, sleeping more, speaking less, smiling less. Until it became her entire reality. Alina used to be full of color. Her laugh would fill rooms, her notebooks overflowed with poetry, and she had dreams, big ones. But now she was drifting. Her eyes, once filled with wonder, looked tired and lost. And the saddest part? No one really noticed. Each day became a performance. At school, she wore her fake smile like makeup. "I'm fine," she'd say. Inside, she felt like she was falling into a deep, invisible hole. A hole that no one else could see. Her grades dropped. Her journal pages stayed blank. Her body showed up to class, but her mind was far away, floating in the weight of sadness, confusion, and guilt. She began to wonder, why am I like this? Why can't I just be normal? She blamed herself, called herself weak. And then came the worst days when even breathing felt like a chore. When she sat in her room, staring at the ceiling, wondering if she mattered at all. One rainy night, something inside her broke. The tears she had been holding in for months spilled out. She sat by the window, knees to her chest, heart aching in a way she couldn't explain. That's when her mother entered the room. No loud words, no long speeches, just a quiet hug, warm, tight, and full of love. For the first time, Alina didn't push anyone away. She allowed herself to be held. And in that moment, something small, something fragile, sparked inside her. Hope. That night, she whispered, "I don't want to feel this way forever." At 18, she began therapy. It wasn't easy. The first few sessions, she barely spoke. She cried. She stared at the floor. She wanted to run. But the therapist, a calm woman with gentle eyes, didn't pressure her. She just listened. And eventually, Alina began to speak. Bit by bit, her voice returned. Through every session, she peeled back the layers of pain, guilt, and shame. She learned that depression wasn't a personal failure, it was an illness. She wasn't weak. She was surviving something invisible. It took months of work, of journaling, crying, opening up, and letting go. But change started happening. Slowly. She began walking outside again. Started writing poetry again. Started noticing the sky, the sound of birds, the laughter of children on the street. At 19, she joined a small art group in the community center. She almost didn't go. She stood at the entrance, ready to turn around. But something inside her said, "Try." She walked in. She listened at first, then participated. Slowly, gently. And then she read one of her poems aloud. Her voice shook. But when she looked up, she saw people with tears in their eyes. Nods. Smiles. Someone said, "That's exactly how I feel." That moment became a turning point. Alina realized that everything she had gone through had meaning. Not just for her, but for others. She started sharing more, online, in forums on her blog. Her words weren't polished. They were real. And real words heal. She joined a support group for teens with anxiety and depression. She wasn't there as a counselor. She was just there to say, "I've been there too." And that was enough. At 20, Alina has scars. but she also has strength. She wakes up with purpose. Not because every day is easy, but because every day is a gift. She's studying psychology now. She wants to help others find their light too. She speaks at youth events, not to show off, but to share hope. One night, she sits at her desk and writes a letter. Dear 17-year-old me, I know you're scared. I know you feel broken. But hold on. Please. You will grow. You will heal. And one day, you will become someone you're proud of. Love. Future you. Alina's story isn't rare, but her courage to speak up is powerful. Because there are millions of young people who still sit silently in pain, thinking they're alone. She is living proof that pain is temporary, that healing is possible, that your story, yes, yours, can change someone else's life. If you're listening to this and feel the weight of sadness, confusion, or fear, remember, you are not weak. You are not alone. You are not broken. Like Alina, your journey may be long, but it is worth every step. And so, dear listener, this was Alina's story. A story of darkness, of pain, of long, silent nights, but also a story of hope, of small steps, of gentle healing. A story that reminds us all that even in the darkest tunnels, there is always a light. And sometimes, you become the light for others. If Alina's journey touched your heart, if it made you feel less alone, then hold on to that feeling, because your story matters too. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for feeling. Now go forward with kindness, with courage, and with hope. Until next time, take care of your heart. Goodbye, and keep shining.